Hey there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Moyo and this is Afrohemian, where I share my creative side, which is mostly focused on sewing. It's the beginning of August, and what that means is I will be sharing all the things I made in the month of July and also what my plans are for the month of August. I say all the things I made in July like I made a shit ton of things. I really didn't. If you watched my July plans video, I mentioned that because May and June were pretty heavy sewing months, I wanted to slow down in June, and I only had, I think, four plans in total. I completed two out of the four, and I'm actually happy with that. Um, July was mostly supposed to be a slow sewing month, and it was exactly that. And the two things I did make, I actually do like, and I'm just going to talk about them now. So the first thing I made was my So Fruity 25 outfit. I also succeeded in making some sort of a process video for that, and I'm really happy with the way that turned out. I'm happy with the way the outfit turned out. I'm happy that I was able to get the video out, and I hope you enjoyed it. In case you haven't watched it, I'm going to link it up in the cards here. And yeah, it was a really easy, quick sew. The only thing really was I was pretty hormonal when I was making that dress. And yeah, you don't realize how your hormones can affect your entire psyche. It affects your mood, affects everything. Because I actually made that dress in 1.5 days. I could have finished it in one day, but I was feeling towards the end, I was feeling a little bit tired, and I thought it was a good point to stop. And the point at which I stopped, all I had left to do was to put on the buttons, so the buttons and the buttonholes, and also to hem the dress. And I hated that dress that night. I I remember finishing it, and I felt so defeated that day, and I don't know why, because everything turned out exactly as I wanted. The dress looked exactly the way I wanted it to look. Everything was fine. I didn't There were no issues with the making, but I just hated the outcome. And I'm happy that I decided to step away, sleep on it, and come back to it the next day because I felt slightly better. I wasn't feeling 100%. I wasn't back to like my level self, but I felt much better than the day before, and I was able to finish it. And I did wear it for the barbecue, and yeah, I loved it. I love the colors of the outfit. I can't say enough things about it, and I'm going to stop talking about it now because there's a video. Please go watch it if you haven't. Another thing that I made in the month of June is a recreation of this dress. So I had this fabric, or I've had this fabric in my stash for the longest. I think I've had it for maybe 2 or 2.5 years. Not so long, but it's been sitting there for a while. And I did reach for this fabric because it is not something that I would typically reach for. And I felt like if I did not make it into something that I liked, I would probably never use this fabric. And there's really nothing as sad as having fabric in your stash that you're not using. To be honest, one thing I would really love one day in the Netherlands would be to be able to attend maybe a fabric swap event. I think it would be so cool to be able to, pick out some fabrics that are really nice in your stash, but you're probably over, or it's not something you like anymore for you, or it doesn't work with your personal style anymore. And just take it somewhere where you can swap with other people who have, similar fabrics in their stash, and bring new life into your stash without necessarily spending so much and without feeling like you wasted money. That would be something that I would really love to attend one day. But I digress. Um, this fabric, uh, it combines there's nothing wrong with the fabric. It's a beautiful cotton, viscose blend, I believe. The reason why I don't like it is because it combines two things that I don't like, or that don't work with my personal style. One is the color pink. I don't know why. I am not a girly girl. I do not like the color pink. It, I think the only pink I can tolerate is a really deep, rich shade of pink. So maybe like a fuchsia or a magenta. But pink in general is not something I gravitate towards. The other thing is florals. I am not a floral print girl. I don't know why. But I make exceptions for large scale florals. I wanted to make it into something or a style that I loved because I felt like then I would reach for this dress a little bit more, or it will motivate me to actually not abandon this fabric altogether, since it's not necessarily a fabric that's my favorite, but it's in a style that I love. So maybe that would be like a really nice compromise that would make me reach for this a little bit more than I would on a good day. Anyways, I made this dress. It is a one shoulder dress, and I really love the skirt part of it. It has a drawstring and a slit, so it's really nice, really flirty. I love the way this flatters me and my figure. I think it looks really, really nice. And for fabric that I don't necessarily love, I really loved the making of this dress, the process of the making of this dress. I think I made it in 1.5 days. It was definitely a 1 day project, but I just decided to take my time. Like I mentioned, this month was slow sewing. So I decided to just take my time, no rush. There was no part of the putting together of this dress that was frustrating, that I hated. Everything came together so well, and I really, really loved it. So much so that I'm definitely influenced going into my August plans, but I will get there. When I get there, I'll explain a little bit better. But all in all, I loved the way this came together, but I am still not in love with this fabric. But I love the way it looks. So I will wear it. I probably would not wear it as often as I should, but it will definitely get worn. And I'm happy with the way it turned out. And that was all I made in July. Just two dresses, but two dresses that I actually really do love and I think are really great additions to my wardrobe. And two dresses that the process of gave me a lot of joy while making. So yes, I am definitely energized, refreshed, and kind of ready to tackle August. I want to carry over some of the energy from my slow July sewing into the month of August and not put any pressure on myself to make anything per se. I do still have a few wardrobe gaps that I could fill, but I don't feel like I need to fill them up right now. And I really still want to enjoy sewing for the sake of sewing, enjoy the process of making the way I did in the month of July. So rather than have like, oh, specific outfits that I want to make, I want to do something a bit more creative. And I have decided to tackle some of my Make Nine projects. So at the beginning of the year, I shared 9 projects that I selected to be part of my Make Nine. So I had 3 projects, which was to make an outerwear garment with like a jacket, a bra, and a tote bag. And I had 6 words to inspire the other 6 things that I wanted to make. I have so far completed just one, and that was joy, sewing joy. And the outfit I made for that was my Lupus Day awareness outfit. So I still have eight things to do on my Make Nine, and I think this would be the perfect opportunity to tackle those because there's no pressure. I, I could just be inspired and see what it is I put together. So I've selected 3 things from that list that I want to tackle. The first one is outerwear. Mind you, I have a jacket that I started last year. I still haven't finished that jacket. It is still somewhere in my sewing room, a very unfinished project. Something tells me that I would finish it sometime this year, and I think I have been filming the process since last year, so that would be a very interesting video to show you. But I'm not picking up that. I want to do something fresh. Maybe this would be the thing that motivates me or spurs me on to pick up my work in progress jacket and finish that. But I would love to make like a shacket because I think it would be a really nice transitional piece from the summer into autumn. So, and I have a couple of fabrics in my stash, and I'm not buying any new fabric for any of the projects that I have this month because I would love to shop my stash a little bit more this month. So, I have some canvas fabric and also some corduroys, some wide wale corduroys that I think would work really well for a shacket. So that's the first plan. I have a couple of styles that I've pinned on Pinterest, but I haven't narrowed down the specific one that I want to do yet. But it could be any of these, to be honest. I'll be happy with any of these that I select, but I would love to make a jacket this month, and that will tick off the outerwear part of my Make 9. The second project I'd like to tackle is the project that's inspired by the word soft. I selected this word because I wanted to be a bit more intentional this year about leaning more into my feminine energy. I typically am not a girly girl. I lean more towards the edgy style. That appeals to me a little bit more, more edgy, a little bit unconventional, kind of boho, quite maximalist. That's more where my style leans more towards. But being a girly girl, not so much. But I wanted to lean more a little bit into that and see if I could, add a little bit of like dark femininity into my aesthetic. This is all sounding really fancy. It's really not that serious. But I just wanted to explore and be a little bit more soft. And based on that, I started making a few skirts and wearing a few skirts, and I've been loving the fit and flare skirts on my frame personally. And I'm thinking for the project soft, I want to make a really nice skirt, something that's probably asymmetrical so that I still have that edge, but maybe a little bit more frilly. Maybe it has a couple of layers. I'm thinking something along these lines. I think it would be a really, really nice project to tackle. And I think it's going to be a really fun skirt that I would enjoy wearing, that would still fit my personal style, but, give soft. And for the final project I would like to tackle, it's inspired by the word nostalgia. I am a very nostalgic person. Throwbacks are my favorite thing to do. I love anything that reminds me or that triggers really great memories for me. And that was why I put this word in, because I felt like it would be really fun to do a project that is maybe inspired by a memory or takes me back to a time that I really enjoyed or that's quite significant. I've been thinking lately, about the kind of outfits I used to wear when I was a lot younger, because I was pretty headstrong back then and I was determined about the things that I wanted to wear because I feel like self expression has always been important to me. I always wanted to dress the way I felt and dress in the way that most authentically represented who I am at that time. And I wore a lot of pinafores and dungarees as a kid. And I'm thinking that it might be a really nice idea to do something along those lines. Maybe make a sort of dress that's kind of pinafore like, or actually make a dungaree. I'm still deciding, and I would hone in on the specific idea that I want to explore or develop further. But that's the line I'm thinking of. And I think it's going to be a really fun project. I'm going to still shop my stash for this because, like I mentioned, I have some corduroys and some fabrics. I have some denim, some fun denim that would also work for this. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I'm excited. So those are the plans that I have for this month, and I'm pretty happy with the ideas that I have. And if I'm able to complete everything, that would be so amazing. And I really can't wait to show you or to see what happens at the end of the month if I'm actually able to, pull this off. So, what are your plans for the month of August? I really want to know. Thank you so much for the new subscribers that we've had join our tiny corner here. It's been really, really nice reading what you think about some of the ideas I have, the projects, and also sharing, some of your ideas and projects. And also, if any of you have channels, please let me know. I'd really love to follow your channels as well and follow your journeys and experiences with sewing as well. So yes, let's connect a little bit more. So if you do have channels, please let me know in the comments and I'll definitely subscribe. And also please share what your August plans are. I really want to know. I can't wait to catch up with you and show you what it is I end up making in the month of August. Until then, I will see you in the next video. Bye.